Good evening, everyone. Welcome to California Today. I'm David Zhang. Here is a look at some of today's top stories. A massive fire broke out in downtown LA this morning. After hours of battling the flames, firefighters have put out the blaze. A jewelry store heist and $500,000 worth of items stolen. This is the latest smash and grab to hit Southern California. A school district secretly transitioned a student. The mom sued and reached a settlement. But parental rights remain a hotly debated topic in California schools. A two-story commercial building engulfed in blaze in downtown Los Angeles. Textile stocks fuel the flames, impacting the local safety and economy. NTD's Stephanie Sikal reports.
As you can see, there's still some visible smoke behind me, and all this because a massive fire broke loose in a textile commercial building in downtown Los Angeles. Firefighters were deployed for an extensive battle. On Wednesday morning, firefighters fought a massive blaze at a commercial structure in downtown Los Angeles. Footage from the Citizen app captured the incident. The fire originated at approximately 5:50 a.m. within a two-story building located in the 1100 block of South Los Angeles Street. The LA Fire Department said over 100 firefighters arrived on scene as dense smoke rose from the building. Around 6:30 a.m., intense flames erupted from the roof, prompting firefighting personnel to switch to a defensive strategy.
There's a lot of storage of textiles on the second floor, which made the fire rage, and flames and smoke can be seen all the way down to Long Beach from this fire. So this was a very hot fire. It affected the structure. It compromised the structure. In fact, the Department of Building and Safety came out and condemned the building, no longer used for occupancy. So tragically, the various businesses that worked out of this building lost everything.
The LAFD says the fire has been contained as of 9:30 a.m. The cause of the fire is currently unknown. The textile area in downtown Los Angeles holds significant importance because it helps the city's economy. Downtown LA's textile area is often associated with the fashion district, which is a bustling commercial area known for its wholesale and retail fashion business. It's a hub for the fashion and apparel industry and draws people from both within the city and beyond. No injuries were reported. However, authorities say those surrounding the area are asked to limit their outdoors time due to the smoke. Stephanie Sikal, NTD News, Los Angeles.
A gang of smash and grab thieves is still on the loose following their recent raid on a SoCal jewelry store. NTD's Christina Corona has more from Pasadena.
We're here in Pasadena where a smash and grab robbery took place at this jewelry store behind me. It only took a few minutes, but the thieves got away with $500,000 worth of jewelry.
We spoke to the owner of Jewels on Lake, Sam Babikian, who tells us he was helping a customer, and as she exited the store, the thieves came in.
And then as a gentleman, I tried to open the door for her. As soon as I opened the front door, they pepper sprayed me right on my face, 2 inches away from my face, and I got blind. And then suddenly I thought I should look for the panic button, and I went my way and I pushed the panic button while they were in the shop. I couldn't see nothing. I didn't see their faces. I didn't see what's happening. All I can see is the smashing and grabbing, and I knew what was happening even though I couldn't see.
Babikian says he and one other worker were in the store during the robbery, both getting pepper sprayed. The police and paramedics arrived shortly after he hit the panic button. And how many thousands of dollars worth of jewelry did the suspects get away with?
It's very hard to say. Well, estimate that I've been giving with 600, 700, or I don't know, 500, 800, I really don't know. Until we go in the books, and then we'll see what's happening.
And Babikian tells us the next step for Jewels on Lake.
I came here today for the cleanup process. I'll clean the glasses, and I talk to the insurance, and then I go step by step, whatever they advise me to do. First is the showcases that we need to fix.
The Pasadena Police Department says this incident is still under investigation and no arrests have been made. Officials are looking at surveillance from the store and within the community to identify these suspects. Christina Corona, NTD News, Pasadena.
A mother in Northern California won a lawsuit against a school district. She claims her daughter was, quote, transitioned without her consent. This comes a day after the state sued a Southern California school district for requiring schools to notify parents if their child identified as a different gender. NTD's Eileen Ang has the story.
Jessica Conan claimed her 11-year-old daughter, Alicia, was socially transitioned to a boy without her knowledge or consent. She filed a $100,000 lawsuit with the Spreckles Union School District in Monterey County and won.
We are now receiving justice from the school that decided to try to transition my daughter behind my back. This is so wrong, and this settlement right here proves in the public eye.
According to Fox News, Conan alleges that the school district told Alicia she may be unhappy because she didn't know who she, quote, truly was inside. And then she was allowed to use the boys' bathroom and male pronouns. NTD reached out to the board members of the Spreckles Union School District, but didn't hear back by airtime. This comes after Attorney General Rob Bonta sued the Chino Valley Unified School District on Monday for requiring schools to notify parents that their children identify as a different gender. Chino Valley Unified School District Board President Sonia Shah has been vocal about supporting parental rights over their own children. The board voted to notify parents within 3 days if their child wants to change their gender.
Now, I never imagined that a policy that would just include to notify the parent, it doesn't stop lifestyle changes, it doesn't stop anybody from using the restroom that they want, it doesn't stop them from using a different name. All it's saying is we're going to bring the parent in the picture because we do know from parents coming forward that there is these inappropriate conversations between teachers and students. There is inappropriate things that are happening. So to me, this policy made sense to put those safeguards in place to let them know if you do have these things, there is consequences.
Shah says she has received many death threats targeting her and her family, and one person has even been arrested. But she still pushes on because she has people who support her and are in the same boat who want to expose those targeting their children. She believes that it's important to let the parents talk to their children when they feel upset.
But it can also be a very good thing if the parents are involved and they're part of the process, right? Because they're now knowing that their child's talking to this person, this is what they're talking about, and these are the resources that they're able to make an approval for their own children, because everybody comes from a different household and a different story. And I think that's very important to respect those different households' traditions or their values or their morals. And if we try to be the ones as a school district to determine the morals and the values, that's going to only hurt the child.
Chino Valley assured that the parent notification policy does protect students. If they believe a student could be in danger, abused, or hurt by their parent or guardian, the district would not notify them.
Recently disclosed, a local water district received an offer to partner with China. A water executive questioned the offer and whether it's acceptable to work with the foreign entities. Here's NTD's David Lamb with more.
California is still in need of water. In Northern California, the Santa Clara Valley Water District plans to build a 320-foot-tall dam and reservoir on Pacheco Creek, located near Highway 152 and Henry Coe State Park. Since 2017, the Water District hasn't found other water agencies to fund the $2.8 billion Pacheco expansion. However, an offer came to the table, recently disclosed at a public board meeting.
China, basically.
Basically.
China
that was the proposal that it came from a local developer.
The Mercury News reported that the Water District's CEO, Rick Callender, said a local developer called him about 5 months ago and said the Chinese government could pay some or all of the costs. Callender said he wasn't interested and questioned the legality over foreign government investing in Valley Water.
International organizations, including international governments in the project, and I don't believe that due to how the funding has come towards us, I don't think that those would be acceptable or legal options that we'd be able to pursue.
International?
Correct.
Somebody from an international, they want to invest and make the money off it. So
that was one of the proposals that was.
So they make money off selling the water.
That is correct.
Congressman Kevin Kiley said on X, formerly known as Twitter, that China senses an opportunity. Quote, The Chinese Communist Party has previously built dams in Cambodia, Laos, and Pakistan as a way to expand political influence. Jim Beale, board member and former state senator, was concerned he hadn't heard of this proposal. Callender said he didn't know who China's customers would be. Callender cited concerns that a foreign interest can own the reservoir, sell it, and gain money, saying, "It's so far from our tax base, it doesn't make sense." The new Pacheco Dam would expand the reservoir capacity by 25 times. But opponents believe the dam will harm the environment and money should go towards more sustainable projects such as water recycling. In Santa Clara, California, David Lamb, NTD News.
We'll now take a short break, everyone, but here's what we have for you when we come right back. A former LA politician has been sentenced to jail. He faces a chain of corruption charges. A restaurant in San Francisco is facing backlash for refusing service to police. They say they have a strict no guns policy. Las Vegas is now the #1 destination for Californians moving out of state. We'll have more on what the city has to offer to newcomers. Those stories and more coming up on California Today. Welcome back to California Today, everybody. I'm your host, David Zhang. A former LA politician finds himself trading suits for stripes. The man has been sentenced to prison due to a chain of corruption charges. NTD's Christina Corona has more on the story.
Former Los Angeles County politician Mark Ridley Thomas has been sentenced to 3.5 years in federal prison on Monday after being convicted on corruption charges. Back in March, 68-year-old Ridley Thomas was found guilty of 7 charges related to corruption, including bribery, fraud, and conspiracy. He was sentenced by United States District Judge Dale S. Fisher, who also ordered him to pay a $30,000 fine. Ridley Thomas, along with Marilyn Louise Flynn, the former dean of USC School of Social Work, collaborated in funneling $100,000 from a campaign fund through the school, ultimately directing it to a nonprofit overseen by his son, Sebastian Ridley Thomas. According to prosecutors, in exchange, USC received a lucrative county contract. As a part of the scheme, Ridley Thomas sought postgraduate admission, a full scholarship, and employment for his son. According to the LA Times, Flynn pleaded guilty to bribery last year and was sentenced to 3 years probation. Judge Fisher said Ridley Thomas engaged in a shakedown and said, quote, used his political support as a bargaining chip to get benefits for his son. He goes on to say, there is simply no justification for monetizing a public office. His required date to arrive at the prison is November 13th. Christina Corona, NTD News, Los Angeles.
Vehicle manufacturers are able to collect private information from drivers. Now the state wants to investigate how these companies record and use the data.
The California Privacy Protection Agency announced that they will investigate how car companies collect and use vehicle data. This includes reviewing how vehicle manufacturers determine if car companies are complying with California's privacy laws. According to the agency's press release on July 31st, vehicles often gather driver locations, personal preferences, and details about their daily lives. This information could be sold to service providers, insurance companies, the government, or data brokers. In May, a US-based automotive firm, Privacy for Cars, published a new tool online called the Vehicle Privacy Report. It allows vehicle owners to find out how much data their car is collecting and to whom the information is sold. The California Privacy Protection Agency is the first independent data protection authority in the U.S. to implement and enforce a state privacy act.
A restaurant in San Francisco is under fire after the police said it refused to serve an officer in uniform. But the restaurant says it keeps a strict no-gun policy to keep their staff and employees safe.
Reams, an Arab restaurant located in the Ferry Building and in San Francisco's Mission District, is being called out for discriminating against police officers. In a Twitter post on August 24th, the SF Police Officers Association said one of their officers was denied service recently because he was in uniform. The restaurant also confirmed with them that they would not serve anyone armed in uniform. They wrote, "We are not asking Reams or any business with a bigoted policy to serve our officers. We're asking them to own their discriminatory policy and put up a sign so we know not to spend money in your establishment, on or off duty." Neither Reams nor the Police Association responded to NTD's request for comment by airtime. But in a statement to SF Gate, Reams' response differs. The restaurant said the purpose of its policy is to keep guns out and ensure their employees are safe. It said, Reams has a deep commitment to uplifting social and racial justice in our communities. It includes fostering an environment of safety for our staff and customers. In a time of increased violence, particularly impacting people of color, youth, and queer people, we believe that maintaining a strict policy of prohibiting guns in our restaurant keeps us safer. But the police association said that they were explicitly told the restaurant prohibits those who are armed in uniform. Reams is not the only restaurant in the city who was criticized for refusing to serve officers. Earlier this year, a cashier at a pizza place was fired for turning down police officers. In 2021, a brunch restaurant apologized after it asked 3 uniformed officers to leave.
The state's budget could be more affordable now. A recent recalculation of spending estimates found an error in the initial calculations.
The Legislative Analyst's Office, or LAO, revised earlier state budget estimates and found that the state's projected deficit can be resolved. Ann Hollingshed, Principal Fiscal and Policy Analyst for the LAO, told the Epoch Times, quote, "The enacted budget addresses the entire $27 billion budget problem, such that no further solutions are required to balance the 2023-24 budget at this time." She continued to say, "We found an error in our May estimates of the budget problem that was related to some double counting of solutions. The state constitution mandates that deficits must be remedied by reducing spending or increasing revenue, and a budget deficit surfaced this year due to revenues failing to meet forecasts." According to the report, declining personal income tax received and a drop in investments in California businesses contributed to the dilemma. For this budget, the legislature reduced spending by cutting $5.6 billion in some policies and programs that were previously approved. The largest cuts include plans for unemployment insurance loans, utility bill assistance for low-income families, and water recycling projects. But the report states that uncertainty still exists for future budgets, with the impact of inflation and diminishing tax revenues difficult to predict.
The state capital's new task force to combat fentanyl. The DEA will work with the local agencies to look into fentanyl-related deaths.
The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, or DEA, created a new task force in Sacramento County to help with fentanyl cases. It will partner with local law enforcement agencies and district attorneys to look into fentanyl overdose deaths. In an email statement to NTD, the Sacramento County District Attorney's Office said it will also determine whether there is evidence to support criminal charges at the state level in Sacramento County against someone who has sold or provided fentanyl to someone who died of an overdose as a result. According to ABC 10, the task force would be modeled after Fresno's overdose resolution team, which has been successful. The media outlet also reported the task force would consist of 16 people from the DEA, Homeland Security, and local law enforcement. According to recent data compiled by the San Francisco Chronicle, drug overdose death rate is higher in Sacramento County than California. The analyzed data looked at overdose deaths per 100,000 residents per month between January 2018 to December 2020. The rate was 3.7 per 100,000 residents in December 2022.
Las Vegas is becoming a top relocation destination for Californians. Realtors say the southern Nevada city has a lot to offer other than its casinos and nightlife.
Las Vegas is currently the most popular city for relocating homebuyers nationwide. Real estate company Redfin found that between April to June 2023, Vegas gained the most newcomers, with Californians making up the largest group of new residents. The company wrote in its July report, quote, "Buyers with the freedom and inclination to relocate are choosing Las Vegas largely because their money goes a long way there. Its typical home sells for $412,000, less than half the price of a home in Los Angeles, the most common origin for buyers moving to Las Vegas." Now, the news was not surprising for the city's real estate association, which has about 17,000 members. Las Vegas Realtors President Lee Barrett told the Epoch Times, quote, "After COVID, a lot of people realized that they don't have to live in a certain area if they have certain job descriptions." Barrett added that, besides more affordable home prices, many people moving to Sin City are also discovering how much the city offers outside of casinos. Las Vegas also has mountain hiking, a ski resort, a symphony, shopping, theater, and is home to a hockey team, the Vegas Golden Knights. The Oakland A's baseball team has also agreed to move to Las Vegas after the end of the 2024 season, following the NFL's Oakland Raiders, who moved there in 2020. Nevada also has no state income tax, adding to the draw. But according to Las Vegas Realtor, the influx of Californians and other out-of-towners has caused a housing shortage. Barrett says developers are now building more apartment complexes and condominiums to try and meet demand. Redfin reports that the next most popular cities for people to relocate nationally are Phoenix, Arizona, and Tampa, Florida.
Now let's check in with NTD's Tyler Castillo for our sports roundup.
Thank you. I'm Tyler Castillo, taking you through California Today's Sports Roundup.
We have been following the Trey Lance trade for the past couple of days, as well as responses from coaches, management, and even some players. As of yesterday, Trey Lance officially had his first media appearance as a Cowboy and gave his response on joining the team.
First and foremost, just excited to continue to get to know the guys, and obviously, for me, it's just learning, taking it one day at a time. Not really trying to look too far forward or anything like that, but really right now, just kind of be a sponge and learn and enjoy every day.
And we finally heard of what Trey Lance thought about being named third-string quarterback for the 49ers and the trade itself.
That conversation obviously, wasn't something I wanted to hear, but that's the reality of the situation, and nothing but respect and gratitude for everyone there, and coaching staff, locker room, obviously athletic training staff, everyone I spent a ton of time with these last few years. But yeah, obviously, it was tough, but for me, it was, kind of trying to figure out, what's next and what's going to happen in the future.
And when you were told Cowboys, was it?
Trey Lance will be back up to Dak Prescott for the Cowboys until next year, which is when Lance's contract expires.
I'm Tyler Castillo, and that was the Sports Roundup for today. Back to you.
Thanks, Tyler. All right, everyone, that's all we've got for you tonight. We would like you to join us again on California Today every weekday at 8 p.m. Make sure to check out our broadcasts at ntd.com/California-today. You will find all of our top latest clips there, ready to share with friends and family. Send us a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Gunjin World, or through our email, california.today@ntd.com. If you'd like to share a news tip on an inspiring story from the Golden State, we'd love to hear from you. I'm David Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.